Okay.
All right, joining me after practice is head coach of the Wall Hawks, Craig Slaughter. Coach, last Friday had a big win over Monahans, 50-13. Playing Sweetwater this Friday, but let's go ahead and get into last week a little bit. Just tell me your overall thoughts on how you think the boys did.
You know, hey, 1 turnovers 4-0, which is huge advantage. You know, I mean, took care of the ball. Landon threw for 5 touchdowns. You know, which is a credit to the offensive line, to Landon. You know, to all those skilled players. Our number ones gave up about 35 yards in 30 plays. You know, I mean, it was just a ridiculous, dominating performance, and proud of the kids, and let's keep doing it.
Coach, when you have a long road trip like that, there's always questions of, hey, can we come out with the same amount of intensity? Can we get it done? Y'all did get it done. What does that say to the guys' discipline?
You know, again, like I said, 3 trips in a row. I mean, Brownwood, Jim Ned, Monahans, you know, just all quality West Texas programs, you know, and just, again, proud of our kids. We came out healthy. You know, we're some road warriors, and looking forward to, thrilled to death to be back at home this week for sure.
All right, and this weekend, you're hosting the Sweetwater, and Sweetwater is in the same district as Jim Ned, so you're still playing a little bit of a leg up here, but I think y'all should be heavy favorites. What do you think about Sweetwater?
You know, a lot of the games in the future, you know, we've told the kids we're our own opponent. You know, we have to come out and play well and play sharp football, regardless if that opponent in front of us is loaded, or that opponent in front of us, you know, is going to have a tough time staying with us. You know, Sweetwater definitely, their quarterback and outside perimeter weapons, they're some dudes. You know, their quarterback is a 3-year starter, throws a really good deep ball, and again, has some weapons. You know, our challenge, we ain't given up one yet with our ones on defense, you know, and, you know, believe me, the kids know it. You know, if we're going to give one up, you know, we want you to have to earn it. You know, our kids are super excited to be back at home and in front of this awesome crowd and our student body, and, you know, we're going to play lights out on Friday.
So it's homecoming this weekend, correct? How are you keeping the guys focused?
You know, even last Friday leaving the field, you know, the last thing we talked about before we broke is there's a ton of things going on this week. You know, there's all kinds of activities and, you know, dress-up days or whatever. The most important thing for us is, you know, is our Friday night, you know, game performance. And, you know, our kids are absolutely locked in today. And, you know, again, I love where we're at, and I expect us to play great football.
And this is nothing against any program, even if they're not on y'all's level, so no disparaging words towards Sweetwater at all. But when you come into a matchup heavily favored, and you have the ball rolling and your offense and defense are clicking, what is other than the win and just playing well, what are the goal in this matchup on Friday?
You know, you want to play efficient football. You know, you want to offensively, you want no 3 and outs. You know, you want to consistently get that ball and drive it. You know, you want, and more than stops, you want clean tackles. You want, you know, fitting the run how you should fit the run. You know, your coverage and no busted assignments on the back end. You know, again, it's just regardless of opponent, you know, you want to play good football. And again, good football, if you're whoever you're playing, you know, good football shows up, you know, against good teams, bad teams, you know, whatever. There's a certain way you expect those kids to play the game, and I think we will.
You've mentioned a couple times earlier in this interview, but you allowed 35 total yards with your starters. You caused 4 takeaways against Monahans. That defensive line gets after the quarterback. Coach, up to this point in the season, I'm going to keep asking you this every single week. How does this stack up to the defense of the previous week and even the previous season? Because it really looks like this defense is special.
You know, I really do. I think it's special. Now, to be fair, that schedule that you think is, you know, on paper, you know, man, may be really loaded. You know, we've just kind of outclassed, you know, most of the teams that we've played. Again, not all of them, you know, but just that's a talented locker room and a talented roster. You know, and again, those defensive goals some of those teams before us have set, believe me, they're on my whiteboard in there. You know, that there's some goals and some numbers that, you know, you'll see how you stack up when it's said and done. But there's some lofty teams that we've had, and I expect these guys to be right there with the best of them, because, I mean, again, that D-line, those backers, that secondary, there's some dudes, and they're all playing really top-notch football.
On the offensive side of the ball, it seems like where you're getting your points from changes a bit week to week. This last week was Landon York through the air. You know, he threw for 5 touchdown passes. But a couple weeks ago, it was your rushing attack and your group of running backs that run all over the place. Is it a game flow thing, or is it one of those, hey, we pretty much know we have an advantage in this area and this is what we're going to attack?
You know, last week we had talked, we wanted to get Landon in that passing game more opportunities, you know, just that O-line is so good. They're letting us kind of call it however you want to call it, you know, because I really think we could have ran the ball 50 times or thrown the ball 50 times, you know. So you're definitely, you want to work on what you do and what you're going to do in the future, you know. But we know those perimeter players are some dudes, and again, as a DC, the hardest thing in the world for me, if I can't get to your quarterback and that you have weapons with a good decision maker, boy, that's a tough scheme, you know, to try to deal with, you know. So again, I still think when it's said and done, you know, we'll have a semblance of balance, you know, but you know, I think those perimeter weapons with that O-line protecting Landon will be the toughest way to beat us.
Now, this is going to be kind of a stepping back and looking in kind of question. You're 4-0 on the year. The season's clicking along. Y'all stayed relatively healthy. You've been successful in every phase of the game so far. What do the Wallhawks need to work on still heading into district in the next couple of weeks?
You know, you're always still worried about special teams, just a mistake. And I'll tell you, maybe my biggest surprise, if you'd have told me through week 4 we'd have 2 40-plus yard field goals, you know, that's a testament to Tyler Kleinsmith. You know, we had that big one at Jim Ned. Well, the other night we had the two-minute offense, and, you know, it was a weird situation, 8 or 9 seconds, no timeouts, and we were about to 30. You know, we're like, dude, if you can get us 10 yards, I think, you know, he's got a shot, you know. And so that kid's now put 2 through there, you know, right around 40 yards, which, and again, small school high school, you know, that's awesome. But, you know, you want to keep your kids, I want to see them get back up and go play the next play, you know, meaning they're healthy, you know, just all the things that good football, you know, you're not penalties, turnovers, you know, your spacing, your concepts are there. I mean, it's the same answer every week. I just expect our kids to play good football, and you know, they're awesome kids with amazing talent, and we just want to give them a chance to shine.
All right, Coach, tell everybody when and where this game's at. I know it's homecoming week, so they probably know, but give us the details.
Yeah, Friday night, right here, Clayton Washington Field, 7 o'clock.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Appreciate it.